Man, it's your boy KushPack B, man. You already know what it is. And this is the inaugural episode of Enlightenment Television, where we talk about all things mental, spiritual, physical, and metaphysical. A little bit about me first, let me get started with y'all. I'm already doing a lot of smoking on this show because I don't think that the herbs of the earth hurt anyone, you know what I mean? So everybody take a moment of silence just to light y'all nights. Oh yeah, help me get my mind right a little bit. First of all, a little bit about me. My name is Bob. You know y'all probably like a Black Bob. Yeah, I'm the Black Bob, the one and only Black Bob. All of these, I guess these thoughts that I have, they started a little bit. They started when I was younger. My mom used to tell me, if you got a question, you ask anything. And I ran her crazy with questions when she told me to the point she didn't want me to ask her shit no more. But that led me to be who I am today. Going forward, I had a lot of questions. I used to have questions about reality and life. I used to ask my pastor, ask the teacher questions, and a lot of them couldn't answer me really. I think I was a little bit asking questions either they didn't want to get into at the point, or they thought I wasn't mature enough to get into the answer with. But moving forward, I was in school, I was in college, I went to UT Martin, and I was majoring in criminal justice. And this right here got me in trouble one time. Smoked of that. And the police told me the lady in the police office told me that I wouldn't get no job in this field because I got a marijuana charge. So I was like, shit, fuck it. Let me change my major to something that I think fit me better. And it was philosophy. And when I did that, man, that shit really changed my life. A whole bunch of things started to open up towards me. And I started to realize the correlations of things in life and how to use them. So my goal with this is to always provide you with facts, some opinions, a lot of opinions, but a lot of opinions that I have based off of experience, off of reading, plenty of sources, and people I talk to and the people that I'm around. And I want to help people who also have their same passion or their same mindset to enlighten themselves. They can just come here and hopefully be enlightened. That's the goal. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that really stood out to me was all of this stuff going on in the world right now. There's a lot going on, man. It's usually all of it really is because of not understanding what life is about. Not saying that I got the master key to what life is about or something, but I do have, I practice. I practice with things that I learn, and a lot of things work when I do it certain ways. I should say it like that. Really, first of all, we get into what shapes our understanding of life. And for me, I think like most people, especially in the Western world, like here in America, growing up in America, and especially for Black people, we were raised in the church, So our first understanding of life, it starts at home, I want to say, but then it's what were they taught and who taught them what they were taught. That's when you get down into the rabbit hole, and when it all boils down, it comes down to religion. Religion is the first thing that shaped what I thought life was about. Because going to church, Sunday school, they're gonna teach you as a kid the 10 Commandments. So we establishing rules first here, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, they're gonna teach you about how you're supposed to obey God and also how you're supposed to obey your parents. So most of it was fear-based. Everything that was taught to me growing up was to be scared of something more than me. If it's at home, it's what your mom and dad say. You better do what they say, or you're gonna get in trouble. Then on the bigger scale is you do what God say, and if you don't do what God say, then you're gonna be in real big trouble. And the real big trouble then is you won't make it to the afterlife. You'll make it to the afterlife, but you won't get to heaven. You're gonna go to hell. And hell scared the shit out of. I know anybody who grew up in the church, hell probably scared the shit out of. Just for the simple fact of you getting told as a 5 and 6 year old that if you don't obey your mama, you gonna burn in fire for the rest of your goddamn life. That's one way to get controlled, and your view on life gonna be controlled by that thought. And then the deeper we dig into it, though, we get to talk about the different religions. There are so many. There are different religions on the planet. Of course, you got Christianity, you got the Muslims, you got Hinduism. What else? Judaism, and in all of those, primarily with African Americans, we don't get the chance to, according to where you grew up, maybe, but I know like here in the South, we don't really get the chance to explore religion. When you born here in the South, you gonna go to some Baptist church, Kojic church, something like that, and literally from you in the training course from there. You're in the training course. This is what's gonna shape your life. Whatever you learn in this church. And that was passed down to us and instilled in Black people so much because, of course, slavery. We get into slavery, and then you see the passages in the Bible that teach you how to act as a slave, and they compare it to being obedient the same way Jesus was. And that's a whole other topic, though. We gonna discuss that on this show one day. But I do want to hit on it right now to the fact of you getting instilled and beat, and this is the only thing. This is the book that they let you learn English from. You're gonna teach yourself how to read with this book, and when you take that and you instill it into, and then make it pass it down so many generations, it becomes law. That is what it is, and that's exactly what the religion was supposed to do. And the outcome that you get is this is the new foundation for your new life that you have to live. So you really don't have a choice. But many of the people who are raised that way usually don't get the in-depth version of what their religion is trying to teach them about life. So, of course, I'm gonna speak on Christianity because that's the background I come from. I was raised in the Baptist church, taught the stories, Genesis, the creation story, the great flood, Moses, Jonah and the whale, David and Goliath, all of those stories. But the whole time I was learning about them, they were stories, but I can guess what they were trying to tell me. And but everything was left up to my own understanding. But again, the thing that repeats itself in that understanding is fear. Everything was just making me scared of God. So that's how I chose to choose what I want to do in life. If I want to do right or if I want to do wrong. Because, of course, when I do wrong, I know that my punishment can come in two places. It's going to come from home, and then it's going to come when I die too. So they made a lot of my choices. Just being an intelligent child, you weigh your outcome, and you're like, well, it ain't that bad if I don't do it, But if I do it, shit, mama gonna beat me, and I gotta go to hell when I die. That's a whole lot. So yeah, that's exactly what I was viewing life up until the point when I changed my major to philosophy. It started actually a little bit before I changed my major. I started having a lot more questions. I think it was at one point, me and one of my best friends, Moolah Great, you'll meet him one day, of course. He is the person that was there when we were having these fanatical, crazy journeys going. And one of the journeys took us to a point where we sat down because we had had food for like 3 days. We were stuck in a snowstorm and we didn't have any money to get back home. And of course, what's the one thing we break out? We break out the Bible. We said we finna pray. We gotta pray because this ain't working for us. We feeling bad. And I left going back to school with the feeling of, okay, I understand. This is exactly what I need to be doing. And then it hit me again. What the fuck was that? What the fuck did I just do? What the fuck did I just go through? Why was I in such a bad fucking situation? And I asked for help. I've been doing good so much, and I asked for help. And help didn't come until it came. Like, what was the point? What did I do so bad to make us go through this whole week-long adventure? It was crazy shit happening. I can't even get into all that. But yeah, so I started having questions, and that's when I really was like, okay, it's something to this thing we call life. It ain't just as clear cut as the Bible tried to make it for me. Like, you need to do this, and this is what gonna get you into the promised land. But what about here? What about now? So fast forward, I started looking into the stories, and I started learning things about other religions and history. I was like, I needed this when I was growing up, because when you put the two together, you can get a better understanding of what's supposed to go on. For instance, I learned about what's called the Christ consciousness. So this is a theory or it's not even really a theory, it's just a thing. Jesus in the Bible is like, all those stories are stories to do exactly what stories do, teach you a lesson. And your goal after reading those stories and learning about Jesus Christ is to try to become as close like him as possible. That is what your goal in life should be if you're a Christian, is to live the life the way Jesus did. And when you look at that, then it started to like flatten out a little bit. You see that the point is to do good. That's really the direction you want to go to. I'm going to do the most good, and the most good will give you the most happiness. And the most happiness will be a good thing to go through until I get to the next stage of my existence, which will be heaven in the Christian sense. That's what we're going to do. But now I'm starting to learn about other cultures, and what is good and what is bad becomes subjective and not objective. The Bible gonna tell you killing a person is wrong, and that's just the bottom line. Well, I do believe that killing a person is wrong, not because God said so, but because each person has their own life, and their life is for them to live. And to take someone's life and the opportunity for them to live it and experience it is something that causes a negative effect in people. The people, like their family, for themselves, and anything. So that being negative automatically makes taking their life wrong. That's why I think life. You get what I'm saying? I hope y'all do. I hope I didn't lose. Sorry about the two cousin ladies. Yeah, so back to what I was saying. Now, knowing that now I'm looking at like, so good and bad is subjective, because there's a tribe in the Amazon that's a cannibalistic tribe. These people, for however long they've been in existence, eat other human beings. This is their way of survival. This is how this has been going on for them. Who am I to tell them that that's wrong for them? This is what the same way that our religion tells us killing someone is wrong. For them, killing someone is necessary. So where is the good and the bad in it? So those questions like that are the ones that open me to deep diving into life again and trying to figure the whole thing out. I don't have it figured out, but the one thing that I get from it is that life requires balance. And this is what I mean when I say life requires balance. The reason that you believe in a good and a bad are because of they are opposites. Everything has its natural opposite. You can't be tall if there wasn't such thing as a person that was short. You couldn't be fat if there wasn't such thing as a person that was small. So when it comes to good and bad, the same thing has to exist. Everything can't be all good if there wasn't something to make it an opposite, which would be bad. So bad has to exist. This is the necessary evil of living. A lot of people like to, have family members that die or babies that die, and the question comes up, why God? Why did you take them? Or why did they, this happen to them? But in the end, it all comes back to balance. When you have 8 billion people on the planet, all 8 billion can't exist because they all came into existence through a cycle. So that means the cycle will continue regardless, right? Someone has to die. Someone has to live. The way that it happened is what is up for grabs. And it blinds people in the fact of forgetting that when you're born, you're only going to die. All right, damn, I hope this resonates. It's so yeah. I believe it's not just I don't think it's a necessary that you should strive for the perfection of Jesus and to get the Christ consciousness or whatever. But just in reality, there's duality. So you can't, it is impossible, I believe, to be all good all the time. That's why you have the impure thoughts or what you may consider impure. One of the examples I like to look at and use is the sound, DNA, anything that involves or affects life in some way. If you look at DNA, you got the spiral, but a spiral, of course, if you lay it flat, is up and down. Up and down. Sound waves are up and down. Your heartbeat on the monitor is up and down. And literally everything in life moves off of that motion, up and down. So yeah, as you progress through life, you meet different obstacles, right? So sometimes things go all the way good, and then you run into that day where you're like, damn, this is a bad day. And you forget that you've already met so many bad days. And each time that you meet it, you conquer it or you don't conquer it, but then things get better again. With this cycle, that's what I was speaking on with the ups and the downs. The heartbeat is up and down, sound waves up and down, DNA is up and down. Life is built off of curves of up and down. So when you progress through life, as I was saying earlier, and you meet the bad day, then you have to know now you're in the dip. And once you're in the dip, that means the rise is next. But it's the same thing for the rise. When you're in the rise, you have to know that a dip is soon to come. So that's, again, points towards when I speak on balance. Life is literally just about being balanced. And if you can remain in the middle of the curves, the ups and the downs, then you will be balanced. See, life will, it's going to adjust. You don't adjust to life, you let life adjust to you, basically. Because if you can remain focused and just keep on the straight line, when the good comes, you can handle the good. When the bad comes, you can handle it just as well as you handle the good. And that's literally what I feel like I've learned through all of my studying and through all of my experiences and through the different people that I meet and the different topics that we talk about. And I say, what's this, 2000? About 4 years ago, I had one of the most profound experiences that adds to how I feel about life, and that is just, the requirement is just balance. If any of y'all have ever delved into the psychedelic world, of course, shrooms will be like number one. It's historically known to be eaten by people millions of years ago. It's long lasting. It's been through the ages. And if you ever tripped off of mushrooms, you know how it can be a bad day or it can be a really, really, really good day. I was fortunate enough, I say fortunate because I feel like everyone deserves at least one of them days to experience the good and the bad side at the same time. That opened my eyes in a way where life was rearranged for me. It was no longer the same, and I had to come to grips with knowing that life won't be the same again. But now I was able to see life for what it really was, and there was the balance in it all. When you in that trip, I experienced being happy, sad, mad, confused, all of it at one time. It's a little bit overwhelming at a certain point, but finding your way through being overwhelmed was the fun part, I think, for me at least, just because I'm a thinker, and that's all I was doing nonstop, was thinking. And in that journey, like 5 or 6 times, I figured out the real meaning of life. I can't tell you today because every time I figured it out, I forget. But the feeling of knowing what it felt like to know remains with me to this day. And whenever I get upset now or I run into one of them walls where everything going wrong, I always fall back on that feeling, and I remember that this is just one of the dips in the curve. Like literally, I can sit here and do nothing, but they won't do anything. Because that's a direct reference to the Bible again. A faith without works is dead. Like, and that's what I really want to use a whole episode to get into that kind of stuff, but I have to get into it now. A faith without works is dead. You literally have to get up and do what you need to do to make it happen. That's what that Bible verse meant. Okay. But in that, I can tie it back right now, right here. I got this tattoo. Little detail, intricate. It's the universe, the all-seeing eye, above the pyramid and the Sphinx. And I have in Hebrew across my wrist the words that God told Moses on the mount when he told them, he gave Moses the whole plan, and Moses was like, who do I tell you? Who do I tell them sent me? And he told them, I am. You tell them that I am sent you. So knowing that God is, if we're going to just stick to it on the Christian sense, God is I am. Every day we affirm everything that we do with those same words. I am. I am going to work today. I am going to get some money today. I am whatever I'm going to do. Even if it's feeling have sexual relations with a woman. I am going to do that. I am. You literally become God in your sins when you say, I am going to do these things. The scripture, faith without works is dead. It's only dead because faith, you have to have the faith in God. In that same sense, if you replace God with who he said he was, which is I am, you have to have the faith in I am. Your faith then becomes faith in yourself. Now that you have the faith in yourself, the works won't be dead because you put the faith and the work where it needs to be done. So it all comes back around to telling you that you are the master of your own journey and you captain of your own ship. That like I said again, was the biggest lesson that I had in learning that life is about balance and also manifestation. That's really like the point of this whole thing. You're born, so the only thing that you have to do is live until you die. That part of this journey, whether it's an afterlife or not, it's an experience that you go through, and you need to find out the best way to go through it for yourself. Not for no one else, mama, daddy, cousin, sister, brother, whoever, nobody. You have to learn how to do it for yourself. And I recently had another journey, and again, one of my best friends had an epiphany during this journey, and it was that whenever and it's hitting me now, it's just hitting me now. Y'all getting a chance to witness this. When I was talking earlier about the Christ consciousness, that is exactly what we reached that day. We got a chance to feel like Jesus, knowing that we out here doing the best that we can do. We're trying to be as good as we can. We want to help people, the people we care about, as much as we can. And we have to bear that cross the same way that he does. The same way that he did. The cross that you bear wasn't a literal, physical 2 pieces of wood getting dragged down a dirt road. Nah, it's the weight on your shoulders that get put on you. The weight that you don't ask for. It's the way that you gotta take on because you can take it on. And again, that just all sums up perfect. Balance, manifestation, bearing the cross, all of it goes hand in hand. If you want something, you gotta go get it. If you want something, you gotta go through whatever it takes to get it. And when you get it, you gotta stay on. And hopefully, there's something that can encourage somebody out there. We're gonna do this again, and hopefully, I ain't gonna say hopefully, because I just spoke about manifestation. The next episode will be even better. Y'all tune in to KushPack B and ET in Enlightenment Television, and I thank y'all for tuning in. I say, my brothers and sisters, I ain't gonna be on no overly woke shit, man. Not for real. KushPack B, man.